Russian forces continue to advance with large numbers of tanks and new infantry reinforcements. It is increasing the scale of attacks in search of new supply routes. While all this is happening, Ukrainian forces are ambushing and attacking critical areas and transit routes. The FPV is trying to maintain its presence in the area with drone strikes. So let's examine what is happening on the front line. A Russian armored vehicle is spotted moving near Kursk. Along the way, it was attacked by 7 FPV drones. Its armor is so good that the attacks on it are almost completely ineffective. In the end, it is the pit he falls into that stops him. Then a drone delivers the final blow to finish him off. What do you think this vehicle is? Those who know can inform us in the comments. On March 22, 2025, a Russian convoy in the Oblast region was detected by Ukrainian intelligence. Soon after, Ukrainian drones launched an attack on the convoy. With the first attack, a great panic begins. The Russian troops, full of tanks and infantry, don't know what to do. On the other hand, Ukraine is not only using drones, but also artillery. This is how a large Russian convoy was dispersed in just a few minutes. Let's move on to another analysis. A Russian position in the center of Toretsk was hit by a Ukrainian 2S-7 Pion howitzer. The 2S-7 Pion is a Soviet-era self-propelled heavy artillery system with a 203mm gun capable of firing nuclear and conventional shells. Ukraine has used it for long-range strikes against Russian positions, targeting command centers and fortifications. Despite its slow fire rate, it remains a powerful asset in Ukraine's artillery strategy. According to the Ukrainian General Staff, on March 21, 2025, the Ukrainian Air Force struck and destroyed a composite company of Russia's 205th Brigade in Dnipro in the Russian-controlled Kherson region. This is how Russia's ships, equipment, and a warehouse full of technology were destroyed in the attack, destroying their ability to fight in the region. The Russians reported that the Ukrainian Defense Forces hit the Sudzha gas metering station and a gas pipeline on the border between the Kursk region of Russia and the Sumy region of Ukraine, which transports Russian gas to Europe. The fires are expected to continue for days. A Russian ammunition depot was destroyed by an FPV drone operated by the Special Operations Forces in the direction of Zaporizhia. Due to the force of the explosion, we can understand that the ammunition was completely blown up. What do you think about the military strategy of the Russian army? This is how the Ukrainian HIMARS attack was captured by thermal imagers. Despite Russian electronic warfare systems, the reconnaissance company Magura managed to locate the 155th Marine Brigade workshop, where Russian armored vehicles were converted into makeshift mobile barracks, and neutralize it with the help of HIMARS. March 19, 2025. A small Russian convoy is unwittingly ambushed by Ukrainian forces. The vehicles are destroyed and a Russian position in the area is also destroyed. FPV drones of the Phoenix GPSU unit operators in the Donetsk region set fire to the GTEL electronic warfare system, a truck, a passenger car, and a tank with thermite. The use of thermite in these attacks is particularly significant, as it burns at extremely high temperatures, making it highly effective against armored vehicles and electronic systems. Once ignited, thermite can melt through metal, rendering tanks and other equipment irreparable. Pokrovsk region, March 20th, 2025. The Russian rocket launcher MLRS BM-21 was destroyed by the Ukrainian 38th Marine Brigade. The vehicle, which was firing at Ukrainian positions, had to be stopped. Ukrainian positions were suffering heavy losses. In the end, a drone was activated and managed to destroy the vehicle. Ukrainian forces have mastered the tactical use of FPV drones to disrupt Russian defenses and force retreats. These drones are deployed in waves, relentlessly striking trenches, machine gun nests, and fortified positions, making it nearly impossible for Russian troops to hold their ground. As soon as a position is weakened, Ukrainian infantry advances, using the confusion to overrun enemy lines. By eliminating the Zhetel system, Ukrainian forces have likely created a temporary gap in Russia's electronic warfare coverage in the area, allowing for more effective UAV operations in the short term. This could lead to increased reconnaissance capabilities and more precise drone strikes on Russian supply lines, artillery positions, and command centers. Moreover, the FPV drone strategy showcases Ukraine's ability to adapt on the battlefield, using low-cost but highly effective drones to inflict disproportionate losses on Russian forces. As these tactics continue to evolve, Ukraine may further exploit vulnerabilities in Russian defenses, forcing them to either deploy more electronic warfare systems or rethink their counter-drone strategies. The 14th Regiment of Unmanned Aviation Complex is detecting and destroying a rare and expensive Russian radar, the Niobium SV, in the Pichna village of the Belgorod region. This incident also underscores the vulnerability of even Russia's most advanced defense technology to modern, asymmetric warfare tactics. In just a few days, the Ukrainian 13th NGU Brigade Kartia inflicted heavy losses on Russian forces in the Lipsy direction, using FPV drones, artillery, and coordinated assaults. Drone footage shows multiple Russian defensive positions, supply vehicles, and fortifications being hit, forcing enemy units to retreat. This tactical success has not only weakened Russian operations in the area, but also allowed Ukrainian forces to gain the initiative on the battlefield. At the same time, Russian losses in manpower and equipment are mounting, especially in areas where Ukrainian forces have established drone dominance. Footage from the battlefield shows abandoned Russian positions, destroyed supply convoys, and scattered infantry attempting to regroup under heavy drone and artillery fire. These relentless attacks are not just about territorial gains, but also about grinding down Russian resources ahead of larger offensives. As both sides adapt and counter-adapt, the war is entering a new phase where technology and tactics are deciding battles more than sheer numbers. Ukraine's ability to maintain its drone and artillery supremacy could determine the success of future operations, while Russia scrambles to find countermeasures before more critical positions fall. The current situation in the Ukraine-Russia war remains intense and dynamic, with significant developments on both military and humanitarian fronts. Russian forces have intensified operations in eastern Ukraine, particularly around the Kursk region. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky recently dismissed claims that Ukrainian troops were surrounded there, asserting the resilience of his forces and pointing to Russian withdrawals from other areas. Meanwhile, he also warned of Russian preparations for further offensives near the Sumy region, signaling that more fighting could be on the horizon. Casualty reports continue to mount. Russian military losses have now surpassed 100,000 soldiers, further illustrating the intense and costly nature of the conflict. The situation remains fluid, with military operations and international diplomatic efforts continuing to evolve, and the humanitarian crisis worsening with each passing day. The conflict is not only reshaping the region, but also highlighting the devastating human cost of war. You can give information about the war by writing your ideas in the comments. See you again soon.